Candide Conversation, Wise Counsel. I'm your host, Todd Westover. This is the radio show where we talk about legal issues that matter to you. We're going to be talking today with Kevin McCarthy, managing partner of McCarthy Law. In our second half hour, we're thrilled this half hour to have in studio with us again from the Nagle Law Group, Robert Nagle. Robert, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's always good to have you in, and your focus is, and what we're going to talk about today is you're an attorney. You focus on real estate issues that are kind of we're going to pick your brain about today, but you have some other areas of practice as well, and you ought to mention those.
Oh, certainly. My focus is on real estate, spending a lot of time right now on residential matters, but our offices also handle LLC formations, corporate formations. My wife handles estate planning and has a very busy practice there. It's a very important area. People, even when you're young, need to think about issues such as who's going to watch the children. Gosh forbid something happens to us.
Right.
So we try to handle all types of non-litigation matters.
Uh-huh. So in terms of the real estate side of your practice, what do you focus on? What do you help folks with day in and day out?
Well, on the commercial side, we handle a lot of leasing and land acquisition.
Uh-huh.
The last few years, I've tried to focus a lot more on residential matters because I felt that there's a gaping hole in legal representation.
Yeah, there is.
Here in Arizona. A lot of people are getting their legal advice from realtors, and I felt that people, homeowners, people looking to buy, looking to sell, and just people who are just don't know what's going on with their mortgage situation needed more objective input on what to do.
I think that's right. They're not always well served by a realtor, as well-meaning as they might be. Things have really been changing, obviously, with real estate over the last 4 years. Look at what's happened, and we're gonna. In fact, let me ask you about the first thing that comes up a lot. We see the story all the time. I was reading another one in the Washington Post, and it talked about this Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act to be extended. Fill our listeners in a little bit about what that Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act is and maybe how it'll have an impact on them if they're considering selling their home.
Absolutely, and that's a great example of where realtors, intentionally or not intentionally, are giving many Arizona homeowners incorrect advice. The Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act was passed by Congress way back in 2007 and renewed in 2009. It currently expires at the end of this calendar year.
Okay.
And the purpose of I'll call it the MFDRA, was to protect homeowners who are underwater, who do a short sale or have a foreclosure, from having to pay any income taxes on the forgiveness of that debt. So, you have a $200,000 mortgage, the house drops to $100,000, and you do a short sale, the lender approves it. You actually didn't have to pay back that $100,000 difference.
Okay.
Typically, you would have income
tax
on
consequence.
that. Exactly.
Okay.
And the MFDRA took away that tax consequence. It was very specific. It was for loans forgiven with respect that were used. The loan had to be used to purchase or improve your primary residence.
Okay.
So if you had a HELOC, for example, that you used to pay for a vacation or you pay off credit card or student loans, things of that nature, you don't get any tax benefit from that if that loan is forgiven.
Makes
it has
sense.
to be used to purchase a house. That's very straightforward. You get a HELOC and you put in a new pool. That was used to improve the real property.
Okay. HELOC is what? Tell us what
I'm sorry. HELOC is the better name is a home equity line of credit.
Okay.
It's when you have some equity in your home. A lot of homeowners had some significant equity during the run-up of housing prices, and they use that money, as I said, for improving the home as well as paying off some other debts, utilizing that home equity for those things. Obviously,
a lot of people have probably benefited from this Mortgage Federal Debt Relief Act because of the way the economy's been, all the short sales, all the foreclosures. It's been certainly needed with the way the economy's been.
Certainly, it has helped homeowners across the country. But unknowingly, it hasn't really helped that many people here in Arizona because it's not critical to homeowners here in Arizona. Because when you have a debt that is called non-recourse, and when you purchase a home, that purchase money loan is a non-recourse debt. A non-recourse debt is one in which the lender can only look to the collateral, which is the house, securing the repayment of the loan.
Okay.
And what happens is when the lender forecloses, the lender is under the tax law, is deemed to have received an amount equal to the loan.
Oh,
It's just the way the tax code is set up, and therefore you haven't had any forgiveness, and therefore there's no tax. So the big point of that statement is, if you are in your home, you do not need to worry about the expiration of the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act unless, and this is a very small group of individuals, unless you took out a home equity line and used it on your house.
Interesting.
So if I took out a home equity line and used it for other things, such as paying off credit card bills or buying a car, the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act doesn't protect me on that type of forgiveness anyway, and therefore it's, again, that very narrow sliver of individuals who reinvested the money back in the house.
Robert Nagle, Nagle Law Group. So, Robert, it's interesting then, because I hear realtors talking, and you hear the advertising, and everything you hear is go, 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 because it might expire. And you're saying it really is not going to be a big deal if it does or doesn't for most people.
For most Arizonans. I feel badly for homeowners in Florida, New York, states that don't have anti-deficiency statutes, because those individuals really are in a bind. If they don't extend the law and it's November, I don't have time to short sell my house anymore. I'm going to have some big liability here. But here in Arizona, most Arizonans have heard of the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act and are really worried about its expiration. Right. And the realtors, intentionally or not intentionally, are telling people you'd better sell your house this year. Right. Or else you're going to have a big tax consequence. Right.
And as the people selling the homes, I'm just going to suggest it's probably intentionally, because that works for them. Obviously, they'd like to motivate people to if they're thinking about doing it, to do it.
Absolutely. But you have to, my feeling is these families will still likely sell their homes. You don't need to scare them into doing something they may not need to do right away. And part of the counsel I give to homeowners is strategy. Do you sell your house right away to short sale? Do you stay in the house for several months rent-free and then short sell your house? There are a lot of things you can do to actually pocket some money and still do a short sale, and thus have kind of a win-win. The bank gets more money via a short sale, the broker still gets the sale done, and you're able to get the short sale and pocket some important money.
Well, walk through that strategy. What are some of the kind of the indicators? What are some of the things you look for to kind of make a recommendation one way or the other?
Sure. If you're way underwater on your home, and let's just use an easy example where your monthly payments are $2,000 a month. If when you meet with me, I can tell you that the average foreclosure takes 6.5 months. That's the fastest a foreclosure can pretty much occur. It can go faster, but all the lenders now have a very set process, and that's really the fastest. It could be longer, but it could be less time than that. So we take that fact that you could, if you stop making payments, live in the home for 6 months without making another payment. Okay. Again, could be longer, could be shorter. Meanwhile, when the lender does decide to foreclose, they have to provide a 91-day advance notice of that foreclosure date. That's when they send the notice of sale.
So you get another 3 months.
So you get 3 months. So the 6 months I mentioned includes that 91 days.
Okay.
So when you get,
but it doesn't sneak up on you. You know it's coming.
You know it's coming. You're not making payments. You're getting various letters. You finally get the notice of sale. Okay. Now we have a very hot market right now. The number of homes available for sale is at a low, and you have a lot of demand for those homes. So the banks will be we would expect them to kind of be on the front edge of that. Oh, absolutely. But so is the ability to sell that house quickly. So if you know that you can sell your home via a short sale, and we can go over that after the commercial, how that works in 91 days. You just simply need to wait. It could take, what if it takes 6 months before you get the notice of sale? You wait until you get that notice of sale, and then you can do the short sale within that 91-day window, and thus pocket $12,000, $14,000, $16,000, and still do the short sale.
So there's some real strategic thinking that ought to go in this that maybe your realtor doesn't know. Folks, you're listening to Robert Nagle of the Nagle Law Group. Robert, let me give out the phone number for those folks who now realize, boy, Robert knows what he's talking about here. 602-595-3156. 602-595-3156. When we come back, I want to ask you about how the election might impact real estate.